Welcome back to World Affairs in Context, everyone. Thank you for joining me. In a world that is rapidly shifting toward multipolarity, a South American country is making big moves on an international stage. As the global race to secure access to rare earth minerals intensifies, Bolivia is often discussed in the context of the lithium triangle in South America. Chile, Argentina, and Bolivia, together referred to as the lithium triangle, hold more than 75% of the world's supply of lithium beneath their salt flats. Access to natural resources improves efforts to diversify energy supplies, which is part of your national security. It allows you to reduce dependence on Western markets and, of course, to support large-scale infrastructure projects. For the United States, Bolivia's role in the Brics bloc is quite undesirable because China's economic influence in South America has been expanding, and of course, the United States views it as a threat. We will touch upon that later in this video. Bolivia is home to the world's largest salt flat and a treasure trove of other natural resources. The country has officially stepped into the spotlight as a new partner nation within the Brics Economic Alliance in 2024 and is increasingly becoming a focal point in trade and in foreign direct investments. Bolivia was approved as a partner state of the Brics Group in 2024 during the summit. It joined other countries like Belarus, Kazakhstan, Cuba, and Malaysia, and others in a category that effectively allows them to participate in Brics activities such as meetings and summits, but they do have a lower status than full members. Bolivia is clearly seeking to expand its strategic alliances with the Brics countries and to form new partnerships that effectively challenge the existing global economic order, especially in the Western Hemisphere. The president of Bolivia confirmed that he does plan on seeking full membership for the country in the Brics bloc. He said, "Our state of Bolivia has taken an essential step toward joining Brics following confirmation of approval from member states." Bolivia would be an extremely valuable member of the Brics alliance primarily due to its unparalleled lithium resources. Bolivia sits atop one of the richest lithium reserves on Earth. As the world continues on the path to transition to clean energy, lithium is the backbone, it is the foundation of clean energy, and so securing access to it is one of the top priorities for many nations, including the United States. You might recall that back in 2019, Evo Morales, Bolivia's first indigenous president, attempted to run for a fourth term, and he appeared to win outright. It was an easy election for him. The votes were in, he won. However, mass protests and violent clashes followed the election, as it typically does in certain countries. The Organization of American States, which is effectively funded and controlled by the United States, played a critical role in delegitimizing Morales, who was forced to resign and subsequently flee to Argentina. So, with that being said, having vast natural resources may be a blessing and a curse. Lithium powers our smartphones, our laptops, our EVs, even large-scale energy storage systems. And global demand for lithium is growing at nearly 9% every single year. It's only expected to accelerate as the transition to clean energy picks up. Bolivia's GDP is close to $46 billion, so it is a small country, but it boasts vast natural resources that are worth trillions of dollars. It's also worth mentioning that Bolivia is a significant exporter of natural gas, of zinc, tin, and precious metals. In just one quarter of 2024, for example, Bolivia exported $136 million worth in zinc ores, $113 million in natural gas, and nearly $110 million in precious metal ores. From a resource perspective and based on its geographic location in the Western Hemisphere, which is a very important factor, Bolivia is an invaluable asset for Brics. Of course, this isn't just about lithium and natural resources. This is about reshaping the global economy. As I frequently discuss and mention here on my channel, you might recall the rise of Brics reflects a growing appetite among countries in the global south to forge new alliances, to forge new rules, and of course to create new systems of cooperation that don't seek to exclude them based on their political alignments or preferences. And Bolivia's inclusion as a partner state and more likely than not a member state in the future sends a very powerful message, sends a very powerful signal to the entire world. It says the new multipolar world actually enables smaller countries to play vital roles in a broader geopolitical framework where their contribution is very much needed in a world that no longer has a hegemonic power. These smaller states, like Bolivia, for example, have an opportunity now to position themselves as strategic players based on their strength. And in this particular case, natural resources is something that is a truly invaluable and irreplaceable asset. Bolivia and China have very strong trade ties. China has been a major trading partner for many nations, including Bolivia, and it has been a source of investment for Bolivia. China's exports to Bolivia include a wide array of goods such as machinery, hardware, and textiles, while Bolivia exports to China mainly mineral resources and natural gas. What's very interesting is that China makes it clear that it respects Bolivia for what it is, a sovereign country. The foreign minister of China, Wang Yi, and I was very, very impressed by this, he recently said, Latin America is the home of the Latin American people and is not any country's backyard. That is such a simple statement. It is so true. It is so respectful of Bolivia's sovereignty, of their people, and of its culture. The statement is very telling about China's perspective on the developing relations and the respect toward their sovereignty and of course, the respect toward the partnership that the two countries are building. Since 2024, Bolivia has been able to use Chinese currency for trade settlement, by the way, allowing it to de-dollarize its trade. This ability was developed during the time when Bolivia faced an economic crisis, and its president signaled that he's very interested in working with China closer to mitigate some risks. The Bolivian central bank was actually running out of foreign currency, particularly US dollars, which much of the Bolivian middle class relies on. So having an option to settle transactions in yuan is a very interesting and new feature. If Bolivia's membership in Brics continues to expand, it could emerge as a key player in Brics' clean energy ambitions. It could also become a model for how developing nations can leverage alliances to boost economic growth and to attract investments, as well as to assert more influence internationally. Let me know what you think about this new trends. What do you think about the Brics alliance expanding in the Western Hemisphere? I would love to hear from you. Thank you for watching. As always, I truly appreciate your time. Remember to show your support. It goes a long way. I put a lot of work into this content. Like, subscribe, and share. It really means a lot. You can also subscribe on Patreon and Substack. You will find the links in the description below. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you back here soon. Bye for now.